Okay guys, this is a video I never planned on making and I never thought I would be making or anything like that. There's certain people in this world that, people look up to for different reasons, right? When I was a little boy, around the age of 3 or 4, I remember seeing Hulk Hogan for the very first time when he beat the Iron Sheik for the WWF World Title and started the legendary 4.5 year reign as WWF champion. But I remember watching him, beat Andre the Giant at WrestleMania, wrestling the Ultimate Warrior, Randy Savage, Sergeant Slaughter, and then so on and so on. And I remember, I've always been a huge Hulk Hogan fan, and sadly enough, we lost Hulk Hogan today. I say we as in the fans, the wrestling world. I became a fan of pro wrestling because of Hulk Hogan, right? He's the reason yes, I got introduced to wrestling through my dad. My dad was a big wrestling fan, and that's one reason I kept watching it even after he passed and my brother passed, because it was some of the few times in my life where I got to spend time with my dad growing up, because my dad was always busy. He was always working. He was in the police reserves. He was in the army reserves. He worked at the post office. He was a postmaster for years at various different post offices. He worked at an alcohol shop. He worked at a gas station sometimes. He had so many different jobs. He wasn't home a lot. So the few times that he was home and I did get to spend time with him, especially as a little kid, it was usually watching pro wrestling. Be it whether it was WWF, aka WWE now, or WCW, or just local wrestling. If we would go to like local shows, it didn't matter, right? And sadly, the one person that I've always looked up to, and when I was younger, especially when I wanted to be a pro wrestler, it was Hulk Hogan was my inspiration, right? And he has always been that guy for me. I don't care about what people say about him in his later years or whatever. It's the Hulkster. It's always been the Hulkster for me. Yes, I love other wrestlers. There's no doubt about that. I am a wrestling fan, but still, I'm a huge Kurt Angle fan. AJ Styles, Roman Reigns, CM Punk. I love all these wrestlers. And I love so many other wrestlers. There's a wrestler that's pretty big on like ROH and the independent scene called Delirious, that I'm a huge fan of, right? But Hulk Hogan has always been he is my GOAT. He is, to me, the best wrestler there ever was. Was he the most technically sound wrestler? No, he wasn't. He's not going to out wrestle, Bret Hart or stuff like that. But he did something and so much for the sport of pro wrestling that nobody else could touch. And whether you liked him or not as a person, as an individual, or whether you believed any of the stories he said or not, that's not the point of what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is, for me personally, he is the greatest wrestler of all time. He is the first person I would put on the Mount Rushmore, and it's not even close. I wasn't on YouTube much when another person that I really love and looked up to would pass away, which was Michael Jackson. He passed away in 2009. I mean, I had a YouTube channel, but I don't think, I think I might have had one video on there. I wasn't trying to put out content or anything. I wasn't trying to do a lot on content and stuff. So I didn't really get to speak my piece on that the day he died. Plus, when I found out he died, I wasn't even at home. I was at Castle Comics on that day on June 25th of 2009. Waiting to play a game of Ultimate Werewolf. Well, not Ultimate Werewolf. The Werewolf RPG LARP from I can't remember the name of the company, but yeah, and that hit me like a gut punch. And today I find out I was watching the Last of Us for the very first time, the first season, and I get a notification from I just happened to see some. I don't remember who sent me the notification. It's all kind of a blur right now. I do know my cousin Natasha, in Texas did message me, go, "Hey, did you know Hulk Hogan died?" And she sent me that after I posted about it on Facebook. Um, I just I felt like I wanted to get on here and speak my piece and just talk about why I was a huge fan and I will always be a Hulkamaniac. Period. End of story. I don't care about what if he was really as bad of a person as he really was. You know, if he was a little racist, so be it. You know, I mean, I can't condone that, but that's his personal private life. I don't believe he's a racist, and everything I've heard since then, even though it was on a recorded conversation where he was talking about that stuff, um, everybody else I've talked to, or I've heard, like Booker T and others, they say that he was far from a racist. He was just at a bad dark point of his life. He was, it was a point of his life where he even said he was considering suicide. Right? So I mean, it was a whole hailstorm of crap that he was dealing with, and he just in a moment in a conversation he started saying some stuff he shouldn't have said. We're all guilty of that. I mean, I'm not gonna say I sit there and I've said racial slurs, to people over the phone or anything like that, but we've all said stuff that we didn't mean, or we didn't, in the heat of the moment, we've said something that we regret, right? And that's no different from him. He just happened to be recorded saying it, even though he didn't know he was getting recorded. And I'm not saying it makes it right what he said, and I'm sure he didn't think it was right, but he said it. There's nothing, you can't take that away, and you can't deny that. I mean, it's recorded, it's proved, but I don't think that was who Hogan was, and I don't believe that. Just like I don't believe that Michael Jackson was a child molester. I don't believe it. I don't care how many people come out and say he was. You never can prove that he was, and in my opinion, he was not. And it's that simple. Um, so I just wanted to come out and I wanted to say, because I was watching the Tyro Magnus's video. I only he was there's like a 34 minute video where he's talking about it. And I watched like the first 15 minutes of it. I'm like, yeah, I'm done watching this video right now. Because I like Tyrone Magnus. I don't always agree with his views or his reviews on movies or anything like that, or his reactions sometimes. But I do like his channel and stuff. And I remember seeing like a 3 or 4, maybe it was a 5 minute video from Akasad. And again, I did watch all that video because I used to watch Akasad a lot, but I've kind of lost touch with him on YouTube and stuff. I don't watch him as much anymore, which is not anybody's fault, but it's just the truth. You know, I haven't seen any other YouTubers or anything like that really post anything that I follow or anything yet, and I don't know if anybody else really will because you know it is what it is. I didn't see any YouTubers post anything about Ozzy's death. And while I wasn't the hugest Ozzy fan, he was a legend. He was an icon of of hard rock, heavy metal, stuff like that, with Black Sabbath and then his solo career. And I do like Ozzy. I'm just not a huge. I wasn't a huge fan. That was a friend of mine, Dirk Woody. I sent him a message on all the Facebook accounts that I have for him, talk to him about it. He never responded. I don't even know if he's read any of them because it's hard hell for me to get a hold of him anymore. And but I let him know that I'm sorry that he lost his favorite singer. Um, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's not the easiest thing, and it's not the best thing. Uh, yeah, I don't know what else I want to say right now. I want to say, I want to wish the rest of Hulk Hogan, Terry Bollea's family and friends, uh, wish them well at this time. And I know he's up with a lot of his wrestling friends and buddies, Randy Savage, Andre the Giant, all these other legends that have, Roddy Piper, um, all these other legends that have already passed, right? And he's just another legend there. Sadly enough, most of the people that I grew up watching and I grew up loving and are dying, and that's age, and it just happens. Um, and we all lose people, so I'm not going to sit here and cry about it. And I didn't really cry about over Michael's death either. But I'm not much of a crier. I never really was. The only time I've really cried when I've lost people was when I lost my mom, and my little brother. I don't remember when I lost my dad. I don't remember crying when I lost him. Um, but I know I cried when I lost my mom and when I lost my little brother. I know I cried when I lost them. And I'm not saying losing my dad wasn't hard or wasn't, but I don't remember ever crying over his loss. And that's probably because even though as an adult I got to know him a lot more and I got to spend more time with him, I don't feel that I was ever really tremendously close with my dad. Um, and that's just because he wasn't around. And my mom was, and my brother definitely was. Yeah, I don't want to keep going on and on. I just wanted to come out here. I wanted to just express that Hulk Hogan was an icon to me, and he was a legend and the greatest pro wrestler there ever was. I was in the middle of halfway watching a No Holds Barred, and uh, in remembrance of it, I was like, you know what, I gotta get on Facebook, or I gotta get on YouTube, I gotta say something. I didn't plan anything out. I didn't. I turned on the camera and I just started talking. And that's kind of what I do most of the time. But I usually have a certain goal that I want to reach with talking and stuff. I have another video that I have prepped and I'm going to be posting probably in the next. I'll probably do it this next like this weekend, and that's package number 12, or the partial package of number 12 of the Legends of Batman from Fan Home. I unboxed it and I talked about it. It's only like a 5 minute video. I didn't go on too long about it. So yeah, in the comments down below, were you a Hulk Hogan fan? Are you a wrestling fan at all? Do you even care? And if you're not, that's fine too. Anyways, if you like this video or any of my content, please hit that like button, subscribe, and share. And until next time, in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, good night, and I'll catch you guys later.